Hello, everyone. Oh, I'm so glad to have you all here today. We are here with Move Around with Deborah, and we've got an exciting show again for you today. Absolutely. Why not? So let's get started. Now, I want to just let you know, just briefly, Move Around with Deborah offers interactive engagement through our social media platforms and other methods. Now, our mission is to increase travel awareness, helping you to decide when, where, how to travel, and what to do during the journey. We're also here to support those of you looking to start a business, grow in the growing travel industry because it is growing. We promote a learning environment for safe, thoughtful discussions globally. We feel travel is one of the most impactful educational platforms around. You know what? Think about it. Travel can be applied to any topic. So, like, share, subscribe, ring any bell you might have, because now is the enjoyable time for us to get started. Our program is going to give you some various perspectives of life. All of our female solution programs do that. And we all need tools to help us grow. So, with that, let's get started with the female solution.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the female solution.
That's right. This is the female solution, and we are back. So, guess what? Yes, it's the holiday time. Are you ready for the holiday time? I am, for many reasons. One in particular is my birthday time. Yes. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to everyone, because at this point next year, we would have all celebrated another day. Isn't that amazing how the celebrations come repetitively? We're always celebrating something. Am I right? So today we're celebrating holiday travel and, of course, my birthday travel. And I want you to know that we are here again to support you in educating you in all of the opportunities that there are with travel and how you can travel safely and more efficiently. I mean, who doesn't need efficiency in their lives? I do all the time. And you know what? I revisit. Now, also, is of course the time for everyone to start making their plans for the new year, getting their vision boards together. And of course, don't exclude the travel portion of your vision board. We need to have lots of information about that. So, again, today we're talking about travel. And I love to focus on airplane travel because I don't do a lot of road trips anymore. Only because I'm ready to get there. I'm ready to be there, and that could be a problem in some cases with when we are traveling, always in a hurry, always in a rush. And life is a rush, but life is going to go on with or without us rushing. Yes, it will go on with or without us rushing. And no matter what time of year it is, of course, the holiday seasons or those focus dates, there's always an enhanced focal point on travel. More folks are traveling the world, even though I heard somebody said that, who's got money? I don't know. But we seem to find a way to do what we want to do when we want to do it in most cases. Now, of course, you have to have a plan in the beginning. You always have to have a plan. And the plan, the first thing you put on your plan list, your program list or your checklist or whatever it is your patience. You have to have patience whenever you're doing anything, and especially in travel. There are so many instances where the patients were not persistent in the travel and things went sideways. And whatever you do when you travel, you want it to be pleasant, no matter what the reasoning for your travel is. It could be visiting family, it could be going on an excursion, it could be going on a date, it could be going on a work related, it could be going to have a homecoming services for folks. But whatever you're traveling for, the first thing you do is travel with your patients. Because I have found so many people in situations that could have been avoided had they not been had they have been more patient and understanding. Everybody's going through something, and when we get in situations, especially with other folks, we're interacting always. When you travel, there's always going to be someone else, and technically there's going to be someone that you interact with that you don't know, and sometimes folks that you do know you interact with, you're going to have a problem. Yes, that happens most often. But when you do come into contact with other people, please understand, just like they don't know what you're going through, you don't know what they're going through. And sometimes a smile, just a smile, or not responding will give peace to a whole situation. It will give peace and understanding. And this is the time of year that we say we're peaceful. We just went through the Thanksgiving and the thanking folks and giving grace to people. And Christmas is another time, even though we're so tense because we want to satisfy so many other people in our lives. And that's good. Satisfy those folks, give those folks, and that's understanding if you can. But don't stress yourself out to where you are in a situation and someone rubs you the wrong way and you react inappropriately. Come on now. Life is all but a dream. And we know that you're making your own life. You're your own stage. We're our own main actors in our program. And we have to interact with other folks. We have to have side support staff or support systems. But yes, just a typical smile. There are so many situations, like I said, that I've seen, that I've encountered, and even myself. I'm not going to say that I don't. I've gone from 1 to 110 for no reason. And then when I thought about it, I'm like, what was the point? There was no point other than I was in my feelings at that time. And I could have missed my plane because I was in my feelings. Yes, when you're traveling, especially when you're going into another uh, place of business, or another transportation setting, you have to understand that sometimes when you're given rules, those rules are there to protect you and that person who's on the other side, that person who's given that rule. And you may not understand it because that's not your business. You might be a doctor, you might be in the medical field, or you might be an educator. Um, so you don't know the settings that TSA is putting out because they want you to move in a certain way, and you say, well, why do I have to move over there? And I don't. I want to go over here with my family, and so we have situations where, even with TSA, they now help with that program. I want everybody to know that TSA is your friend. I know you might not think so, but TSA is your friend. Be pleasant to them, like I said, they're ready. And when we travel now during this year, a lot of us are traveling with children, and children are, they're still innocent. We want them to be still innocent of all the challenges that are going on in the world. And when you're traveling with children, they don't really understand that they have to be quiet, they have to be structured, they have to pay attention to you, to pay attention to their surroundings, what they're doing, and how they're moving throughout whatever venue that they're in. But hopefully you have educated them to a degree where they are not too wild and chaotic. And you've brought tools with you, like their laptops, their books. I don't know if they're reading books anymore, but they definitely should be reading books, as well as you should be reading books. And we're going to talk about our book of the month. I'm here once a month on the third Saturday. And with the Female Solution, we certainly want you to be open. We're here every day. The Female Solution is actually really competitive to some of those other channels that you're watching. And we have our standards guests and hosts that are here each and every day. And we have programming twice a day for 1 hour. But the key part about it, and just like with everything else now, you can replay. If you missed a portion, or you thought you heard something and you didn't hear something, you need to go back. That's what we are here for. And we have a lot of programming. We all need a helpmate, whether it be in our house, in our home, or in our ear. We need a helpmate. And we here at the Female Solution want to help you navigate life. Life comes in different stages. Life does a lot of challenges. It provides a lot of challenges. It is just chaotic, but you can sustain life. You can enjoy life no matter what chaos is going on around you. You can enjoy life. So we're going to take our first break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about how to help your children navigate and go through the airport, how you are able to help them with the different tools that are available. So let's go to the studio, and we are going to hit our next commercial break. Yes, we have commercials. We always have to have commercials. Don't you have commercials? Commercials are just a step of the program to be informative. And we want you to be informative. So here we go.
Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair.
Hey family, this is Charles Humphrey of MCH Publishing, and I'm here with Ashada, and we at the Soulful Chicago Book what?
This is the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair, slamming.
We getting down in Hyde Park. Just run it down, my sister. Just tell us, for the people, a little bit about what we're doing here today and why.
You know, this is the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair, and this month is very important. I feel like we don't give it the type of recognition that it needs, but beyond that, I do all things literary, and we have so many ancestors that have taken a tradition of writing and done great things. Well, we have those of us that are carrying on that tradition, and nobody knows about them until now. So the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair is allowing us to tell our stories according to ourselves for our own benefit. And it's just beautiful. I mean, she could have been here today if you wasn't here, but if you were, it's been amazing. People came in consistently, children, and we have children's authors, we have nonfiction authors, we have fiction authors. This is really good. And it's about taking our own power in our own hands and doing what we do on the literary tip, though.
Right.
I got to work, but I can't help it. Everything going too smooth. Not just about bring my Africans in like this. Bring in the Africans.
Okay, so make sure that you attend the Black History Book Fair. We're going to be talking about that, and more advertisement is going to be about that as we continue in looking and watching and listening to all of our female solution situations. We have a lot of situations. So let's talk about travel. And especially when we travel with children, we have to be so cautious. Let me just give you a side note here. I remember long ago when my mother-in-law had a collar, not a collar, it was around my nephew's wrist, and she had it attached to a chain, or not a chain, but a strap. And she had that strap, other end of the strap, on her wrist because he was young. He was walking, but he was like 2, and you know how those 2-year-olds can get. And he was just moving around. And typically, you want children to live. They don't understand always. Okay, you got to be quiet. You got to sit down, and everyone else is moving around him. So anyway, I was like, why do you have him on a leash? And now I understand, because now I have had children, and I see you have to corral them in any way you recognize you have to. And that is something that is so important with all of them. And so with any children that you're packing, and especially packing up, when you're beginning your packing, and that's when it starts, of course, you got to have that plan. So you have to have a checklist. We all go through lists. We make lists. We make lists, go into the grocery store. We make lists to do what we have, our daily things. You make lists to put my birthday on your calendar list. Yes. Yeah, I went there. But you make lists for all of your family's birthday and anniversaries, and folks that you care about, and folks that you haven't heard from, and just to reminisce. Sometimes if you don't reach out to them, you still have that information that you can reminisce. But anyway, we have a checklist, and the travel checklist starts before you even start packing. Before you start packing, empty out everything. I mean, go into the side pockets, pockets you may not even have noticed before, but as you're searching around in all of the luggage carriers that you're going to have, all of them, even including if you have an infant, those car seats. Remember last month we talked about the car seats, carrying your own car seat. Also checking when you're renting car seats, check them as well after you clean them. But start with emptying the containers. Make sure all the pockets and compartments are empty, completely empty, and make sure that there's no holes or anything in them so they won't fall out. And try not to tag with the child's name or even your name on the outside. I see, it's beautiful to have your name on things, but when you have your name or the child's name on their jacket or on their bag, that gives tools for those who don't have good intentions to work with, because now they'll be relating to them. And you know how children are, they smile and somebody comes up to them and they say, "Oh, how beautiful you are, how pretty you have your clothes and whatnot." Now they know their name, and now they're becoming more familiar. Well, Boquisha, your mom said to come get you, and we're going to go over here. You have to use the washroom because I see you wiggling. Let's go over here while your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister or the person you're with is doing something else. I'll take you. We're not going to disturb them. Come on, go with me. And that's it. And you don't want that kind of thing. So again, start with emptying your bag. Don't take anything that has a logo with their name or something on it when you're traveling in big areas of stuff like that. Remember the liquids and gels. And this rule changes all the time. So whenever you're going to travel, always go to the TSA website, and that is tsa.gov. We'll get to that a little later. I'm going to bring that up a little later, so make sure you know how to get to there. But it's still 3 liquids, 1 quart size clear bag, and 1 bag per passenger. Now remember, that's per passenger, so even the little ones, they are a passenger, and we know they all need stuff. Review the prohibited items list for both carry-on and checked bags. And we went over that last month as well. What's the difference in the carry-on and the check bag, which can, which cannot. And then again, that list is at the TSA website. If purchasing a baggage lock, be sure to look for those that are TSA recognized. Because if you get something that's not, and they say they want to check your bag and it's locked and it's got some strange lock on it, they're going to think, what's really going on here? Is there something strange that they have in this bag that they don't want anybody to get to? So to avoid that, just get a TSA recognized lock, and it'll say on the label when you purchase TSA recognized. And tape a card with your name and contact information on all of your electronics. When you go through TSA, some folks have to take out their electronics, their laptops, their Kindles, those types of things out of the container that they're in. So in case that gets separated, because it's, we all know it's a lot of chaotic stuff going on. In case it gets separated from your items, and somebody else picks it up, your information is there. So make sure you have that. And also make sure that you put an identification inside of your own bag, because sometimes those tags, those outside tags, they get torn off or they get dismantled or, various reasons. But if you have identification inside of your bag, then if it goes to the appropriate folks, and they're looking to see who does this belong to, they'll have that identification inside your bag as well. Those are just some of the things. There are so many things that if you travel often, it'll come automatic. It'll say, okay, I need to do this and that. And you'll probably have a bag packed already, like some of us do. But those are some of the things that you do before you start to pack. And then when you're packing, excuse me, pack in layers. We do have cubes that are purchased, but with the children, you have to have an extra set of clothes. We all know, because one set will mess up, and that is with your carry-on. You have to have those extra sets of clothes, which includes shoes, socks, uh, uh, undergarments, outer garments, and sometimes even a jacket, depending on where you're going. And we know that if you have shoes, stuff those socks in those shoes, stuff those shoes with anything that you have. That way it'll condense some of the things. Here's something else, and it is so sad, and it kind of goes back to before you start packing and researching your bags. Firearms are only allowed in checked baggage, but unless you are part of an organization, a police organization, and you have to carry your firearms in some manner, leave your firearms at home. Leave the bullets at home. Leave the containers at home. Leave anything associated with firearms at home. Don't bring them. There's you hear stories all the time. There was a young lady, not a young lady, an older lady, just here recently, a couple of months ago, that was cruising, and she forgot firearm, just a small thing in her bag. And she's from a state that it's, open carry, but she forgot it. It was in her bag, and she didn't check from before. And when she came back on the ship after an excursion, she happened to have the bag that it was in on her. So when she went through the check-in, they stopped her and they arrested her in a third party country. It's just devastating. Devastating. So yeah, you know what? Leave it at home. Make sure you don't have it. Leave it at home. We can sell you fireworks. Leave them at home. If you need some fireworks where you're going, then purchase them when you get there, but leave them at home. I want to go back to the firearms thing. I just want to give a tidbit on that. Even though your state or your county is open carry, or you're allowed to carry, you're permitted to carry, you may cross a state that does not accept your allowance, or you may go into another country that does not accept or recognize that allowance, and that is against the law. Be aware, it is against the law, and you are subject to be detained unnecessarily. Leave it at home. Uh, Remember to place everything when you're going through TSA with all the children and whatnot. Have an adult in the front of the line, the children in the middle, and an adult at the end of the line. That way, all of the boxes that you are, or the bins that you're putting all of your stuff in, is in the middle. That way, The one adult is going to be at the other end to make sure this all is received, and you or another adult is going to be at the far end to make sure everything has gone through. And if anything is flagged, you will be there to recognize that all is accounted for. Sometimes, and remember, you still got to keep a watchful eye out, because sometimes TSA, once it's gone through the scanner, they'll pull it out and start reaching for it, looking through it. And they've gone over to a side desk, and you're not aware of it, because you, of course, you're getting everybody together, you're making sure. So you have to have a mindful eye. So many times, have you ever been in the airport and someone said, could Joe Blow come back and get his identification from the TSA check-in, or his bag, or whatever? So be aware of that. And I know, we have pets too. We travel with pets, and we're going to do a show. I keep saying we're going to do a show on pets. I don't have a pet, so I need to get a pet expert for that. But but make sure the leash and your carriers can be properly screened, and they're the proper sizes that are acceptable for your airline and for TSA, because your airline has their own rules as well as TSA has theirs. When you go into the airport, again, hustle and bustle, getting everybody. Remember Home Alone, that Home Alone movie where they left Kevin. I love that. That's that Christmas, one of those Christmas favorites. Kevin, make sure you give enough time to arrive at the airport early. We never know what happens. Sometimes people travel hours to get to the airport that they're departing from. Leave yourself enough time. We know that typically they ask you to get there 2 hours before, if it's domestic travel, or if it's international travel, 3 hours. And even though Hawaii is part of the United States, Hawaii and Alaska, that's actually kind of international. So give yourself 3 hours, give it yourself 3 hours and a half. Just because there's so much to do in these airports now. They're a destination in themselves. Wear easily removable shoes. And if you have to remove your shoes, please, 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 please have some footwear on, like some socks or some footies or some huggies or whatever. Don't walk on that floor in the airport. You know how much passengers with disabilities and medical conditions, we know you have to have special attention. Make sure. And TSA has a toll-free helpline. Yes, you can call. Now, if you call today, they might be busy. But their number is 855-787-2227. That's 855-787-2227. Make sure, if you're TSA pre-check, and there's a TSA pre-check sale going on for children. Yes. But actually, if you have a child under the age of 12, they TSA pre-check with you automatically. You don't have to buy TSA pre-check. And then from 13 to 17, there's another special. And for children, no matter what age, traveling alone, they have to have their own pre-check association. So I love pre-check, but sometimes pre-check is just as busy as the regular. So it doesn't matter. Just make sure when going through the screening lane, and when you first go in, they're going to take your picture now. Yes. So take the hat off, take the wig off, do all those kind of things. And we will actually be able to see who you are. They'll take your picture, and maybe eventually you won't even have to go through that section anymore. Make sure you put all the bags with the clear liquids, ice if you have a container, your water container or whatever kind of liquids you want to get. If you have it, make sure it's empty of any liquids. But trick is you can have ice. As long as the ice is still frozen, you can have ice in it. Make sure everything in your pocket is empty. Keys, tissue, currency, wallets, cell phones. You got bulky jewelry, valuable items. You have all of that stuff out of your pocket. Or you could put it in a secure pocket, maybe in your jacket that is zipped, fold it up and put it in the bin. You've taken your jacket off, everything is off. Some folks have to remove their shoes and their belts. So when you remove your belts, make sure you hold on to your pants. Remove those personal electronic devices other than the cell phone. But I'm talking about like laptops, tablets, e-readers, and those handheld games. And check again the bins to collect all of your belongings. Check those bins. It is so important to check those bins. So now I'm way past time. I get so excited talking. We have another commercial.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
Yes. Pay attention. Listen, here is for passports. Well, first, let me show you this one. TSA. That's what we were just talking about. We got that check sheet, tsa.gov/travel, but just go to the TSA site. Again, that's tsa.gov/travel, travel tips, travel checklist, or whatever you can go. Another thing that's really, 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 really important is for you to have your passport. I know you got the ID that was supposed to help you get from from state to state when you're flying. That just gets you from state to state. You need a passport. You never know what's going to go on. You never know. And I know I've said this before, but when you have that passport and you get in a situation, say, for example, you're cruising and you get in a situation, you get sick on a cruise ship and you have to somehow get back home, but you've missed that ship. How are you going to get back home? You need a passport. You need a passport. And I'm talking about a passport book, not a passport card. A lot of folks try to go the least expensive way, and sometimes they get information that's incorrect. A passport book will get you around the world. It lasts for 10 years. It's only about $150 and it's well worth it. I know I had my passport and I was able to take advantage of a free trip because, sometimes those passports might take a month or they might take 3 months. We never know. And the way the government operates now, we never know. So anyway, get that passport. Now, let me tell you the difference in a passport and a passport card. A passport card is about $70, but a passport card is only good for identification. Yes, if you're traveling domestically, you can use it for identification. It's only otherwise if you're going out of the country, even if you were going on a cruise out of Alaska, which is part of the United States, but you have to travel through Canada to get there, you have to have a passport book. A passport card is only good if you're driving over the border. And that's if you're driving, of course, over the Canadian border or over the Mexican border. That's the only validation that you'll have for a passport card. That's the only use that you can have for that traveling internationally if you're driving or on a bus. So please recognize that. I cannot stress that enough. It is so important to understand that, to have that, and to be aware. Oh, I see we have a guest on. Oh my goodness, I'm excited. Let's get our own Dr. Naima Latif. Dr. Latif, how are you? You're out there. Oh, you're out there in the elements moving around. I love it. I love it. You're looking all beautiful and fabulous. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by.
Well, thank you for being here. Let me turn up my volume a bit. Yes, I'm actually just leaving the funeral of the mother of our dear sister, Africa Porter, June Porter, very well loved across the city and the nation.
And the nation, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, internationally, I believe as well.
Internationally, absolutely. Wife of Dr. Porter. So, of course, the church was packed and a beautiful message. And now there are those who are traveling to the cemetery and the repast. But, I think about the subject that you are mentioning about holiday travel, and I've got relatives that are doing that. A lot of people travel cross country for events like this. And, it is important to be prepared for things, especially because this is a high travel season right now. And, and then in the city of Chicago, unpredictable weather. So you have situations where you might be stranded at airports. That's happened to me before, bad weather, flight delays and all that. So, you have to really be prepared for situations where sometimes, you get stuck and you can't travel. And how are you going to handle that if you're delayed? Or how are you going to handle that if the event that you need to be at, you can't be there because you're delayed? You have to even be emotionally ready for that in these kinds of seasons.
I like you said that, emotionally ready. We talked about that, emotions. Yeah, that is so important that we are emotionally fit to handle being anywhere else.
Yeah, yes. I mean, I remember when I was traveling with my mother, she was elderly. I think she was like 90 at the time. And I was really frustrated because the people at the airport, for some, crazy reason, the TSA, they were going all through her bags. And I think she had a tube of toothpaste, some really innocuous thing. And, they act like, it might be dangerous. I'm like, okay, this 90-year-old woman, when you're older, they make you travel in a wheelchair. And I was really upset because they're fumbling around and having to take off her shoes and all that business. We ended up missing our flight, and it was my niece's graduation in Boston. I was so angry, and my mother's trying to calm me down because I had this little temper thing that most people don't see until you trigger it. Then it's like an explosion. And she's like, "Calm down, it's okay, it's okay." But I was enraged. I'm like, first of all, it's stupid of you all to act like this old woman is probably dangerous because she had a tube of toothpaste in her purse. I was so mad. But we did get a chance to reschedule the flight and get there to the graduation on time. But you know, it is important not to lose your cool.
Yeah.
If things happen and your flight is delayed or your travel plans have to be rerouted or something, because it can be frustrating.
It can be. And I didn't mention it before about the frustrations, but they can have you arrested, taken off the plane, even though you may not think it was out of pocket, but someone else felt as though it was unsafe for you to be in the presence, and they can have you removed. And if there's a delay, they are now beginning to charge people for those delays, charging for fuel. You know how much it costs to put gas in your car.
Right.
And can you imagine the fuel that was taken up by that? So yeah, it can be something, but you know what? Travel is still fabulous.
Yeah.
We enjoy it, and I see you. I'm so glad that the weather in our town
in Chicago, yes, yeah, this is kind of mild today. I mean, it's a little chilly, but I always have many layers. But you made a very important point about your attitude. If you get too upset, oh, listen, hey, might as well say hi to Mama Africa.
Peace and love, everybody. Hawaii, Kwanzaa season, we out here.
That's right. That's right. We gonna be getting ready.
Yes.
You know I had to do it.
I see you, Mama. That's why I came right with the Habaragani. I'm right on.
Yes. Okay, be safe out there.
Yes.
I love her.
I know.
Yeah, her spirit is always so upbeat. Yes. And she is definitely part of the female solution.
That's right.
We were talking about that. Yes.
That's a great point that you made about really not being so upset, because if you make people nervous, even though you might be irritated, if you make people nervous because of your attitude, they will have you removed, because you don't know when somebody might get violent. So
right, and especially in this time,
if you seem to be out of control of yourself. So it is important to control your emotions, even if you're frustrated at a delay or a cancellation. Don't be cursing out people, and calling names and making threats. Don't do
getting loud,
because you can be removed from, airplane, of waiting room, whatever. They can escort you out if you act like you are a threat and you're making people nervous because you have lost control of your temper. Just stay calm, no matter what happens. Make sure people don't feel unsafe around.
If it's focusing on that little dot on the wall, find somewhere to have peace. Mm-hmm. Because we need peace in this world. We need more peace. We got enough chaos. We've got enough chaos. And as we move around, we definitely need to recognize what
that's right. That's it.
that we have to do.
Yes. This family was so loved. I mean, this was just such an amazing event. Yes,
absolutely. Yes. We're all loved, but we want to be made aware of the love that folks have for us before we leave this body.
Express it while you're here.
Don't wait.
Absolutely. When you say it while people are on this side of the dirt, as they say, then you feel the love, and you're able to celebrate the life without regret. So never lose an opportunity to express the love while people are in the flesh. and then you will not have regrets when it's time to say see you later, because it's never goodbye. They just go on to wait for us until our time is
Right.
in this
And
body.
you know what? They're still here.
Yeah, the say bye. And this is
So
a good
so
season. You know, people usually remember to be kind during the holiday season, and that's nice. But try to have that good cheer all the time. Speak to strangers and have a smile on your face all the time.
right.
Carry
And you
the
don't even have
loving
to speak.
holiday cheer for the next 12 months, because that's
Right.
what we need to display it. And it makes things go a lot easier, especially when you're traveling, especially when you're going places, and sometimes you need the help of a stranger. Sometimes you need somebody who doesn't know you to, stop and give you a jump on your car, or give you directions, or anything. It
Right.
helps to always be kind, because you never know, especially when you're going places, who you may need that doesn't know you, and they need to feel your vibes. They need to feel that you have good, safe vibrations, and they need to feel like they can trust you. So
Right.
traveling is very important to put on your best
And you
face, best
travel
attitude.
just like you're traveling today. Travel doesn't mean going away a long way. Travel is you travel back and forth to work or to school,
Yes.
or to events in your area.
Yes.
Travel is a mindset. It's a life. It's an education, and we are educating folks all day long. So
Yes, we are, all day long. I always say every act is an act of self definition. So, however you want people to see you and define you as, however you behave, that's how you're defining yourself. So, remember to think about how you want to define yourself. Do you want to
that's right.
define yourself as a loving, peaceful, joyful human being? Or do you want to define yourself as someone nasty and mean and hurtful and hateful? How are you going to define yourself? With every encounter, you're defining yourself. So
Or
remember
are you
that.
defining yourself as someone hateful that turn themselves around
Yes, you can turn yourself around at any time. And people
at
say, "Oh,
any time? It's up to you.
that's right."
You have the power. You are the leader in
Always.
your play. You
Yes.
have the control. Take it.
Yes.
Take it and be positive.
Yeah.
And remember, even though we celebrate the lessons of Kwanzaa between December 26th and January 1st, you can repeat that every week, every month of the year. You can repeat that. It doesn't have to stop January 1st. Come on, let's get those principles in order, and let's move on as we move around with not only me but everyone.
Mute the sound. How are you?
I know.
Yeah, it's
Well,
okay. Had to mute
I
the sound
know
while the siren was coming past.
it's the sounds of the city.
Yes.
It's the sounds of the city. We know the sounds of the city. We city girls. I love it. Well,
Yeah,
it's
good old
almost
Chicago
time for
sound.
us to go. I thank you for stopping by.
Yes. Well, I thank you for entertaining me for a moment. I'm going to have to depart, but I appreciate all that you do in teaching us all that we need to know about travel. It's so important for us as we expand our reach around the world. And we now live in a global society. You can get anywhere in the world in any
And the
kind of
universe.
anywhere in the universe.
And the
So
universe.
yes, so it's always good to know how to conduct yourself, prepare yourself, and interact with others as we meet our global family all around the world every day. So thank you, Deborah, for all you do. We
Thank you,
appreciate you.
Naima, for allowing us to have this platform. It is a blessing. And don't forget, everybody, tomorrow, Sunday, even though I told you we're here every day, but on Sundays from 12 noon to 1 p.m. Central Standard Time is Seed to Systems with our own sister Cicely. And she's
Yes.
connecting continents. We're talking about the world and international living. You don't have to do it here. You can do it anywhere. Just do it.
That's right.
Just get busy. Well, I know I wanted to talk and give you all a book to read, but we talked about children today. And
Yes. I don't
I
know if you got
want
any
to,
comments, but I'm sure there's some people who are appreciating your presence here.
yes, yes. I wanted to share this book excerpt for the book of the month for me, since we were talking about children. So let's do that now. And if I don't see you, if you get disconnected, I love you.
The rod spoil a child. Kids today need to be beat. What else am I supposed to do? He's so bad. Ooh, she gets on my last nerve. Better hush up before I give you something to cry about. It was important that I write the book, Beating Black Kids.
I'm old fashioned. And I believe, you just can't let a child do anything.
I think it's okay, long as you don't abuse them.
It's needed to a certain point.
But what I saw was a collection of adults who were talking about a topic they had never really talked about before. And out came, my mama used to hit me with a spatula. My dad used to hit me with a belt. They used to make me get wet first. They used to put my face in a pillow and then spank me. Like all of these different stories about how we have gotten beaten over time. And while there was a lot of laughter when those stories were being told, I could clearly see that there's a fine line between laughing and crying. And I knew that it was time for me to write a book about handling the situation. And so it's very obvious that this came from being a slave, from a slavery experience. And that whole spare the rod before the child. The shepherd did not beat the sheep with the rod. He guided them with the rod. And so it is just obvious that that came from a slavery experience. And we have to know how to differentiate those things and then just use some discernment in terms of doing what's best for our children and not breaking their spirits. With regards to how we discipline our children, first of all, I always tell people that discipline, if you look at the etymology of the word, it comes from disciplina, which is the Latin root meaning teach. And so when you discipline a child, you are teaching them. But when you use corporal punishment and you hit our children, you're not teaching them anything. They're actually not going to do it again out of fear. They're not doing it out of reason. The frustration that we feel from being powerless in a society and all of the things that come along with that, those issues are not to be taken out on our children when we get home. The definition of domestic violence says bringing harm to someone in your home or hurting someone in your home. So I want us to look at how we beat our offspring and how that's not giving them anything good. It's making them quote unquote obedient, but that's what you make a dog, that's what you make an animal. But when you're dealing with someone of higher intelligence, use their intelligence and start to talk to them in ways that give them power, make them feel supported, listen to their ideas, and it'll just be an easier parenting road for you. There's a part of the brain called the regulatory part of the brain, and that's the part of the brain that helps you make decisions in times of adversity. Well, if they have that toxic stress before they're even 4, that part of the brain does not develop. And so you're looking at a community full of people with no regulatory equipment. So we need to be bringing a different generation of people up with a different consciousness. Make sure that the kids feel good and alive while they're living. Don't be upset after they die and after there's all these senseless killings. Let's treat them well while they're living, and then we'll see a different impact. The adults want to be upset, but you taught the children the violence when they were young, and it's the tools they have. I feel like, hitting children is such a skillless. We need to foster behavior that builds them up, and that just changes the way, like, we talk to each other. Talk to your discipline, because discipline, we're using it a lot to describe hitting children, and this is not directly to you, LaShawn, but it's to just all of us, because I've heard it and it's personally, and discipline. My book is sold in Switzerland, Germany, Tasmania, Nigeria, Sudan, Canada, all over the world. And so people all over the world are telling me, as far as Germany, that my book is making a difference in the lives of the people that other people touch, but also in the lives of many parents and families who now no longer beat their children because they read my book. A lot of people ask me if I'm going to write another book, and I'm not ready to write another book. But what I will say is that there is a high demand for the book in Spanish and in French. My book is not punitive. My book is not accusatory, but there are solutions replete throughout the whole book. It really is just about being engaged with your child. They're not going to become respectful and trustworthy through you telling them and demanding it. They're going to become that way from observing you and then emulating what they see. And so in my parental code of ethics that I wrote, one of my favorite lines is, I will only seek excellence in my child if I am excellent myself. And so that's what I say is the number one key to making sure you have great children is checking yourself.
Oh my goodness, you didn't hear anything I said. Beatingblackkids.com. That's the book of the month, the book of the year. And then we talked about the suicide crisis lifeline, 988. Call, chat, text 24/7. Help is there. Don't go at it alone. We talk about how we don't know what a situation a person is going through. They may be going through, and all they needed to save their life was a smile from you or not a frown. Okay. Also, trafficking is real. It happens all the time. And as we travel, we see things. If you see something, say something. If there's a bag sitting around and nobody's claiming, say something. It's okay. It's too much going on nowadays. The National Human Trafficking Hotline is 888 373 7888. And a repeat, 888-373-7888, or online, humantraffickinghotline.org. That's .org. Don't suffer in silence. Don't see someone else suffering. Is not necessary. We've got a whole lot of folks, a whole big world. We might not even speak the same language, but we all bleed the same color. We all have the same skin, the tone and the texture, but we all got skin. We all got bones, and they might not work good, they might not look good, they might look frail, but you are who you are. Be happy. Stop, young folks, stop getting all that Botox stuff and whatnot. Learn how to maneuver your skin to make it move the way you want it to move. It's just like your hair. If you comb your hair in a certain direction on a regular basis, you're training it. You don't need those extra added chemicals going into your body. Ladies, you need the big old butt. There's exercises to get that big old butt. But if you don't get that big old butt, it's okay. I'm saying it's okay. And you should say it's okay. Who are you really trying to satisfy? Someone else who may or may not be there for you? Okay, that I'm actually going, I'm already over. I'm going into another rant. I rant. Yes, I get on my soapbox and I go through. Remember the principles of Kwanzaa. Live them all year. Let me tell you, Move Around with Deborah is here to help you navigate the travel. If you have any questions or concerns, please give me an email and I'll be glad to talk to you about it. We're going to give our send off. Don't forget tomorrow with Sicily Seeds to System, the international way. That's what we're about. Thank you for being here. Love.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, Ngiyabonga. Senegal, Jaref. Kenya, Asante. Israel, Toda. Pakistan, Shukriya. Afghanistan, Tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.
Hey, I forgot to tell you, next month is January. Oh boy. You know, we're going to have a whole lot of new things, new rules and regulations that are going on. That's going to get started on January 1st and more throughout the year. I want to help to navigate your travel so you can be prepared. So I hopefully will have an impactful list of nuances for you to understand and pay attention to, jot down. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's Move Around with Deborah 8430. Move Around with Deborah 8430. And I'm on Instagram and all of us are not on Facebook. But the Female Solution is on Facebook. So you make sure, and you can watch all of our programs, getting information for you on how to navigate your life and get your life right. Yes, girl, get your life right. And guys, we're not exclusive to females. We love our men and we want them to get their life right too. So join us at the Female Solution each and every day and rebroadcast like you do with those other binge moments. You can certainly binge the Female Solution, the whole week's programming each and every week. Sit down and get your popcorn, get your pen and paper. Always have your pen and paper available. Yes, because you never know what's going to be said. Love you all. Peace. May God be with you and be safe in your travels. Happy holidays.